Oh, it's you.
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. He represented the... Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that art, but if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same...
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the worker...
Huh? You're here too,
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision-makers. And...
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel. About what it was like facing down a god.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do...
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather...
How did it go? Was it a good shot, did Paimon?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows? I might eventually get that interview.
Wow, you really do have that...
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Meripede.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess, too. I asked Sijuin, who told Monsieur Nerv...
That's a... very complete...
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the fortress become... I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that...
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move for...
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting. I'll treat you to...
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feel.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss...
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. Miss Charlotte.
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear...
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it.
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed.
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. The boat that brought about a miracle, the ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back... Still, if I might ask...
Huh! Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you...
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, some.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. We've seen this kind of... Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try the...
Ah, Sigewinne.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you... Sure. Come on, Miss Sigewinne. Over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the front?
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but
Other than that flying ship, I got a
that's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes.
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the...
I'll just leave the spotlight to you. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not...
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentence.
Oh, actually, what about you?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will... As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. All right. Last stop, the docks. Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these...
Traveler, Paimon. And Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around...
Trick a friend.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact?
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future...
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with the first step. He'll become a part...
Lynette, could you come over?
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very...
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So, what's...
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine...
A diplomatic gift? A gnosis?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it over, it could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the all-devouring Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine.
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking about.
I would agree, but I've also heard that...
So there's some reason for this that...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Ah, yes, speaking of which...
Isn't he real busy and stuff? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right? What about...
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on it.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatui. To think we'd be...
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance. Please do not pay...
Are you going to take the gnosis back to...
That is our duty as harbingers. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand... Switching my masks is something I've always... Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it forever? As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh?
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear...
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take...
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met, too. I guess this must be life. We will all fall... All right, then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get...
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see what Nicolette's doing?
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a...
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you. All right, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually...
It is strange how words can often...
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontainians from dissolving.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the... Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original...
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. As for the judgment passed by the oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off.
Guess Focalor had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became hang on a second. Paimon, back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontainians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for...
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina...
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither sad. She simply said that she was tired. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house. Not unlike how an
but she's still got a place to...
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or... In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear... But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay...
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers?
After Focalor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the UDEC.
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power, and this... As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as... Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the opera...
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Archon. Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay?
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite...
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something!
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this crisis. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, the Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis's power. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now.
What complicated considerations! Paimon thought you were just giving it to them out of...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume? I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be
A nation of dragons? You mean
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that I believe may the Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the
Captain? Sounds like a real tough customer. Serious?
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question about... When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the gnosis, we guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you...
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are... So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting...
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well.
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here. I can finally catch the scent of your power. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. You should have the remains of the third descender on your...
Remains? I've never heard of it.
According to your parlance.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Fowl, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Which, regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bond...
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my... personal thoughts.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the...
Next time. You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have it.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to...
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk. I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but I did not expect... That means that the gnosis, which are exceedingly element-compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities, do indeed come from... I wonder, does your...
Like, elemental powers without a vision. No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It's comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same.
All right. Whatever the case, it seems like the crisis here.
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all the.
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will want. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, but the rain falls fairly upon. And what ultimately is the difference between the rain?